Hi, this is Judy McKenzie from Tebow Small Biz, and welcome to my first installment in a series of tips and tricks for small businesses. I have elected to create a series of what I hope will be very helpful tips and tricks for you and your small business to increase money, decrease your time away from your family and your extracurricular activities, and increase your happiness. I know those are all um, big challenges for you, and I think I can offer you some advice and some services that will assist you with that. So let me tell you what I've got here, what I'm going to be doing. I am going to provide a series of 10 to 15 minute videos that are very specific to helping you solve some issues that you likely have. This is this is how it's going to help you in that there are some very practical tips that I'm going to be offering to get you to start thinking about ways in which you can accomplish some of the challenges that you have. And this is actually what I'd like you to do now is if you can, um, grab a cup of coffee, take a 10-minute break, just listen and see if any of this makes good sense to you. And if you like the first one, I think you're going to like the other series. I've got nothing to sell. I'm not doing it. I'm just offering some assistance. My belief is that small business is really the backbone of not only of our province, but of Canada and the U.S. For my U.S. customers, the issues are exactly the same, and the failure rate of small business is over 50% after a 5-year period of time. And many businesses will not celebrate their fifth anniversary, and often that is because uh, they've not focused in on some key areas that are very doable and don't necessarily need to be very expensive. So, here's a learning opportunity, and I hope that you will find it useful and profitable. So, the common issues for my clients that I've been identifying over the last couple of years, they all want more money. Uh, Systems and processes are an issue because they relate directly to being able to create repeatable, positive activities. And that is, most small business owners and entrepreneurs, they have everything in their head and they don't have it on paper. And that's often a mistake because I find that most staff are not able to read your mind particularly well. And so they don't often follow the processes the way you want them to. And as much as it's frustrating, you own that issue. So creating processes and systems will not create a bureaucratic environment, but will create an even flow of activities that work to increase productivity and decrease wasted time. Second thing is the people processes. People are complex. I know that. I come from a social work background where I worked with families, and then I worked in HR for many, many years. And we all know that working in a company, you are working with families, and some of you have family businesses, so you really are working with families. But businesses are like blended families. We all come from different places with different values and beliefs and ideas of how things should go. So it's a little wonder that issues come up. And without the appropriate people processes, sometimes that adds a huge amount of stress onto the entrepreneur and small business owner. The other part that my clients often talk about is actually a marketing strategy that there isn't a planful marketing strategy that is being systematically worked to increase customer base, increase sales, increase follow-up, and that is something that has, you know, it is a real failing for some small business owners. And the final part actually is the business planning. That's also missing, and that again, lots of great ideas held in the head of the owners, but unless it's on paper with dates and targets and very specific activities, it's just not going to happen. Different ways that there's two basic ways to make more money or to keep more money. Is one is reducing costs, which is a short-term plan and always a good one to keep an eye on the ball as to where your money is going. The second one is increasing sales. Now that may seem really obvious, but I can't tell you how many companies spend so much time stressing about keeping their costs down, and they're not spending any time thinking about how to increase their sales. It's sort of like when you're, if you were to be a rock climber, the one thing they always say when you're rock climbing is don't look down. Because if you look down, you're going to go down. And when you're reducing costs, that's the first thing you do, is you're always looking to cut and curb corners and do all kinds of things like that, which has you in a really almost a negative mindset. Where when you're increasing sales, when you've set targets for increasing your sales by 10% in the next 6 months, and you take a look at ways in which you can do that, and then, on monthly increments, you are assessing whether you're at that target or not, then you can really hold folks and yourself accountable for, why are we not meeting those targets? Why are we not increasing our sales? What are we missing? And that will hopefully get you to ask yourself and your team some good questions that will come up with some good answers. So I really see increasing sales as the golden ticket while you're watching costs, but don't whatever you do, just think that reducing costs is going to get you there, because it won't. Getting clients on the cheap. So we're going to talk about, the marketing plan. You do have a marketing plan, right? Most of you are saying, yeah, sure, Judy, I have a marketing plan because I have so much time to think about that. And I understand that you don't have an awful lot of time, but this is time well spent. And down the road, we're going to talk about some different components of marketing plans and what you're going to want to be thinking about. But in the meantime, there is quite a few things that we can do on the cheap that will fit into your marketing plan as you start to put that together. And without further ado, I'm gonna skip right into that. So the first part of a marketing plan should be your niche. Who is it you like to work with? You've heard time and time again the 80-20 rule, that 80% of your revenue is going to come from 20% of your customers. That remains to be true. And if you're selling to a very large audience and you are not satisfied with the amount of clients that you have, or that the customers that you have, customers or clients, are actually not the type of people that you really like to work with. Let me give you an example. I'll give you an example in my own practice. My niche is small to medium-sized business, service businesses, and I like working with people who are learning agile. It means that they can take in new information and apply it. I like people who are really curious and like to think a lot about some of the opportunities and challenges that face them. I like people who will follow through. So when you have a conversation, they actually do what they say they're going to do, which means they're holding themselves accountable. And they're risk takers. They're willing to try something new, and they can assess that information. So if they try something new, they give it a period of time, and then they assess. Was it on the mark? Was it not? How do they tweak it? And that brings them right back into that learning agile point of view. So I know I'm talking very fast, but that's my niche. When I'm looking for clients, I make very sure that when I take on a client that they fall into that category. And because I've had some really unpleasant experiences with working with people who, in subsequent thinking, they weren't in my niche. So, you have to fire those clients. Think about your niche. Who do you like working with? Who do you offer great value to? Who do you find that, you have your most satisfactory experience with? And niche is such a big deal that I'm actually going to be offering another one of these brief videos on identifying niche, because it is a key part. So once you know your niche, the rest of your marketing plan is so much easier, because you're marketing to a group of people that you know well. You know what they value. You know where to find them. You know what they look like, and you know what kinds of things will make them feel very cared for and valued. Second tip is, remember in real estate that they talk about, the key is location, location, location. Well, in service industry, it is database, database, database. And for many of you who are listening to this and are currently my clients, you know that I've been talking with you about keeping lists of who your clients are, lists of prospects. When people come and talk to you, make sure you get their details so that you can keep in touch with them. People will buy from you, but they have to have had at least 7 encounters with you. Did you know that? That's how long it takes to build trust and credibility, and then they likely will buy. Now, the other thing is, this is another bit of information that blows me away, is that 80% of people that you've dealt with and likely have had a very successful experience with, if they buy from someone else, the reason they bought from someone else is not because they weren't satisfied. It was because they didn't feel valuable to you. You didn't follow up, and you were out of sight, out of mind. So all that money that it took you to get these clients, you did a great job, and then you just kind of let them fall away. We've all done it, and it's one of those things that it is absolutely critical to keep a database. Using a CRM or a database management system. I work with a group called Infusionsoft, and that allows me to do it's just a system that I've moved over to because I can schedule things and I don't have to be on top of it all the time. It's very automated. But there are lots of free CRMs, and all you have to do is Google free CRM and you're liable to find some great material. I have used iContact and Aweber in the past. Those are not free services, but they're very, very reasonable and they're very helpful. So keep in mind, having a database and working with that database is so, so critical. Now, special promotions, tip number 3 is actually taking your niche, understanding your niche, keeping in contact with them through your database. You can then offer those customers that you already want to nurture and show that they mean a lot to you, offer them special promotions so that you keep them as loyal customers and clients, and when they are ready to buy again, they come back to you. They don't go anywhere else because you understand their needs, you understand what they value, you understand what's important to them, and you manage that very effectively. So that's how those 3 steps link in together. So hopefully that makes sense to you, that looking at your niche, keeping in touch with your niche, and offering them all kinds of special promotions, which may well be monetary or it may well be any kind of a number of things, depending on what your niche is. So there you have it. There's the 3 tips for today. The next video I'm going to be putting out in a week, and it's going to be about niche. To niche or not to niche. Are you gambling on narrowing your niche too small that your market is way too narrow, and how can you make a living on it? Or are you gambling on having your niche so wide that you are being a jack of all trades and a specialist in none? So keep your eye out for the next video, and I look forward to chatting with you very soon. So until then, it's Judy McKenzie of TiVo Small Biz saying, see you later. Bye for now.